Hello and welcome to the Modern Romantic Podcast, where we celebrate and inspire romanticism through passionate people who do incredible things. Hi, I'm coloring outside the lines today. Hi, I'm Trey, and I'm joined by somebody who not only colors inside the lines, but outside the lines. She's also coloring your world. Hi, Emily.
Wow. I wasn't sure where you were going with that. I was like, wait, what are lines?
You're right,
There
they're
are
just
no
boundaries.
lines.
There are no lines. There are no boundaries. How are you, Emily?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm all right. As you can probably hear, I'm a little under the weather right now, but I am recovering quite nicely. How's your week been?
Um, Pretty good. I'm in teaching classes mode, so we have mosaic classes and glass fusion classes and color theory classes.
Ooh.
Trying to get a bunch of those in for the holidays. So that's where my brain has been. Teaching mode. Yay, art.
Yay, learning!
Yeah. I kind of like how this cold whatever you're dealing with right now brings your voice down just a little bit more, because that's what we needed in this world, was for Trey to be more bass.
It's actually really nice. You should have heard it Friday when it was like at the peak of its, I don't know, the zenith of its, I don't know what I'm going for here,
Bass.
of the bassiness. I hopped on a call with the team from work, and it
Mm.
was just out of my mouth. They just went, Trey, are you going to be okay if you keep talking? Like, are your vocal cords okay? I'm like, yes, it is quite natural.
It's
Um,
great. Replay this episode, everyone.
so I'm curious from a teaching perspective, what about the teaching has been the most fun for you?
I love seeing what other people's creativity ends up coming out of them. I love seeing that. I love seeing other people do. One of my classes happens to be we're making Christmas trees in glass fusion, and I made samples just to kind of give people an idea of something they could do here. And I use different techniques so I can use them in the class to show people this is how it'll look if you do this way or this way, so they can kind of weigh out some decisions. And so I have samples based on, some simple beginner designs. But watching what people come up with on their own is awesome. Like, I love that. Every class is different. No two people are alike. None of them turn out the same. And I love that about it. I love what it pulls out of people, especially beginners who have never done anything like it before.
I can say from somebody who has benefited from your tutelage of like when it comes to sewing, you
Hmm.
are a really good teacher. So
Thank you.
they should consider themselves lucky.
I don't crack the whip too often.
And when you do, it's with love.
It's right. This is with love. Yeah, that's right. It's loving.
Well, that's awesome.
What's what we can call it? Can't imagine. I won't. No, we don't have to go there.
That's fair. I will admit that I was feeling well enough to go see The Wicked for Good over the weekend.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, really solid. I have minor qualms with certain things about it, but I am so happy with the love and care that they gave both of these films. It was needed. So well done. And I have to say, I think movie one was Cynthia Erivo's time to shine. Movie two, Ariana, straight up Ariana.
Very nice. Good to
Yeah.
know. I have not seen it yet. It is a plan to do so, but I haven't gotten there yet. Did you wear anything pink or green when you went?
No, I wore what I had in my closet, which was just comfy, and none of that is pink or green.
Okay. Josh said, minor qualms. You mean quibbles?
I do mean quibbles, I do mean minor things, but that is a subject for a different episode and a different time and place. What is time and place is to talk to our fantastic guest today.
That's right.
So, Emily, will you introduce our phenomenal guest today?
Absolutely not. It's your turn.
How dare!
How dare. How dare. Throw your gauntlet down.
How dare!
Tonight, we are joined by Allie Williams, artist and founder of FUMEINK. That's FUMEINK. It's the adult coloring book brand known for its bold, funny, totally unboring designs, and we're here for it. Welcome to the show, Allie.
Thank you so much. I would like to say that it's not just me. My husband, Brad, is also the other half of this endeavor. He just doesn't like to be in front of the camera.
Okay. Well, hello to Brad,
Mm-hmm.
He is
and great
my
job.
my other better 50%. I can't do it without him half.
That's awesome, though. I'm
Yeah.
glad you get to work together.
Yes.
How does it work? Do you just complement each other so well, or did you decide to go into this together equally like this?
Well, Brad and I actually met in art school.
Mm.
Ooh.
Both of my parents are artists, and my mother was actually our teacher.
Oh,
So, yeah, I was in college. So we were both graphic designers by nature, and that's where we met. And we were in total competition with each other before we started dating. We wanted to cream each other then, and now we still want to do it, but in a much more loving, supportive way. And so basically, we just keep each other on our toes. And we have the other business, which is the web and graphic design, which the sign behind me, Red Rooster Design.
okay.
We've had that business for over 25 years, and that's
Wow.
the business that pays the bills. Fume Inc. has become our project of love and just doing it for ourselves. So this is a new thing that we've done just this year. But since then, we've been working together for, business wise for over 25 years, and we've been married for longer than that. So, yeah. But we have an office. He goes to the office, and I work from home, and that way we don't murder each other.
Okay. So you found some balance.
Yes.
Very nice.
You have to find balance. You can't just be around each other 24/7.
No. I am curious though, if you wanted to like pummel each other in art school, what was the factor that brought you two together?
Well, it's funny because he always tells me that he kind of envies the fact that my whole family are artists. My parents are artists. My sister's an artist. My sister's also an art teacher. Both my parents are art teachers. And his mother actually is an interior decorator.
Oh.
She's since passed, but
Okay.
he had that within him through that, but he didn't have that support from the art like since birth. And so he calls himself more of a blue collar artist where he has to work for it.
Mhm.
He doesn't feel like it comes innately within him. And so he was always kind of intrigued by my family because we are all such artsy nerds.
I see.
And it all just kind of seems to come naturally to us. And he's always kind of, found that interesting. And so he himself, I don't know if you see this picture behind me, that's a
Mm-hmm.
circle of Lucille Ball that he did.
Okay.
So he
Wow.
himself has become very good at drawing and things like that. So um, I feel like I keep him on his toes and help him strive to just kind of compete, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then he is just so supportive of me constantly. So, I mean, it's just a really good mixture.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you just play fight each other just to keep things interesting.
Well, it is interesting. Well, we actually found our niche because I'm web pretty much. During the daytime, I do web design,
Mhm.
build websites. He does logos and branding. And
Okay.
so
Oh.
I started as a graphic designer. And when I went into web, I kind of abandoned the print side. And he's always stuck with that. And so when I go back and try to do his stuff, I'm terrible at it. And when he can't build a website. So we have our lanes and we complement each other. So I think it works really well for what we do.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. We make a pretty good team.
Can you talk to me about the name Fume Inc? Excuse me.
Yeah. FUMEINK, we don't really tell people exactly what it means because we kind of let people guess because it could mean a bunch of different things. But really, the kind of idea behind it came from the idea when you say FUMEINK, it sounds like you're fuming, like
Yeah.
you're fuming, and it
Oh.
really just kind of came about out of frustration of not being able to be creative for ourselves
Oh, okay.
after 25 years of, I mean, don't get me wrong, it pays the bills and we love being creative, but we've not been able to do anything that did not have rounds of revisions from strangers or, people saying, make this pop, make this cooler, I want to see the backside of this, like all the feedback that you get from people over the years. And so we were like, let's do something for ourselves that we think is cool, that we don't have to appease anyone else. And so the fuming part just kind of came from the idea that, it's frustrating, but we're also kind of finding a creative outlet in that. And the ink is the play on the word, because the ink is like the printing part of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's also relatable, not from the same angle, but I used to do, well, I'm a photographer and also other art, but photography was one of those things where I was always doing someone else's photo shoot. I was always doing weddings. I was always doing someone's senior portrait or, something like that. And I finally got to a point where, I want to do something that's more telling a story that's in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I changed. And I haven't shot a wedding in a long time because I kind of just decided one day I didn't want to shoot weddings anymore after I had a really stressful one. But like this picture behind me is one that I took that was more of the FUMEINK side of what I ended up doing. So it's relatable. I get it.
It's funny that you say that, because I also used to be super into vintage hair and makeup.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a whole side gig. I actually have a blog out there. It's bouffantsandbeehives.com.
Okay.
I haven't posted on it since like 2014. But I was super into it back then. And I had my own fashion show. We had a local kind of fashion week thing. And I sewed the costumes. I did the hair and the makeup. It was the 7 Deadly Sins. And
I love it.
Yeah, so I have a local photographer friend, and we collaborated, and we made the most gorgeous photos of people. And my picture that you used for the promotion of this came from that. And so we had this outlet where we were just doing portfolio work, and we would just pick the subjects that we wanted to do, and we would ask people to do it for free. And it was amazing. And then we started doing it for money. And then I started doing senior pictures, hair and makeup.
Okay.
And then I started doing wedding hair and makeup. And I was like, I don't like this at all. Everybody wanted to look like Kim Kardashian, and I want everyone to look like Marilyn Monroe. So I'm like, you're not seeing my vision. So I hate to say it, but it's almost like when you do it for money and you start doing it for other people, it kind of a little bit kills the joy a little bit.
Yeah, it's no longer quite your art
at
that point, and that can kill it.
Yeah. But it was fun to do. I haven't completely negated not getting back into, because I still love hair and makeup. I do it, when there's a special occasion, or I like to give my friends makeovers, things like that.
How fun.
Yeah. And I was super into like the technique and stuff. Like I have all kinds of books, so many books about like, finger waving and, pin curls. And I was just so obsessed with like, how did they really do it back then?
Victory rolls.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. So I got really into the historical side of it as well.
That's
neat.
A
lot of fun.
Yeah, looking back at some of those hairstyles, I've wondered how in the world do they get the hair to do the thing that it's doing? It makes no sense.
Well, you wouldn't believe how much of that hair is fake.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the other thing is, you would not believe how not terrible your haircut needs to be, but like if you wanted a certain like look, your hair would have to be like almost a mullet, like a U shape. And then when you but the other thing is, you have to do your hair literally every day. You can't just have what we do normally now, where you just kind of wash it and go. Like if you have that haircut, you have to do that hairstyle. And
I see.
There's no leaving it. That's why you see people back then, they used to pin curl their hair and they would put scarves over their heads. And then I used to think that my grandmother was not being vain, because she was not a vain person, but she would never leave the house without a scarf on her head.
Yeah, my grandma too.
When I started doing hair, I was like, she's just trying to protect her work from the wind. That's it.
Yeah, she had this plastic like bonnet thing she wore over.
You would go to the beauty salon like once a week. You'd get your hair done, and then you would preserve it.
Okay, yeah. I remember she'd like wash her hair only like once a week.
Yep.
See, I would watch movies and like from the 1950s and see all those scarves on, and I'd go, "Oh, that's a really nice aesthetic." No, there was a functional purpose behind
There
it.
is a functional purpose of it. And there's all kinds of other things like hair receiving jars. Those are things that you'll see in like a vintage store. Sometimes it's like a little glass jar with a hole in the top. When you brush your hair, you have your hair fall out sometimes,
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
take that hair and you put it in the jar and you save it and you make your own little rat, which basically you would wrap a hairnet around. And it's, how they have like bun forms nowadays. You could make your own little inserts to save on having to tease your hair by making your own hair rats. I know rat's such a gross word, but
It
that's
is. Yeah. Like, I get it.
you have
Ah,
rats in your hair.
yeah. So classy.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
do have
Go
to
ahead,
say,
Trey.
I do
Sorry.
have to say, I was perusing through that blog actually.
Oh, really?
Um, yes, I was. So I do recommend that you go take a look because you get very detailed in that.
I do.
Like even the most recent post from, I think it's 2016.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you detailed out the makeup you used, the brands you used, how you did that hair. It looks immaculate, by the way, but like very detailed.
Yeah. I had more time on my hands back then. I would like to get back into that. It's just, that's the other thing is people don't realize, we got really extra into social media with this, with FUMEINK and, trying to get eyes on this and just the amount of time it takes. I think you guys know having a podcast, people don't realize the time it takes that you don't see the editing and even the thinking of it and the scheduling and all of it, just videotaping yourself and then editing it and, writing it all down and scripting it all out. It's just, I couldn't do it anymore.
Even a simple post, you have to come up with what it's going to say and
No, social media
all
is
the
exhausting.
hashtags. And yeah.
Yeah. But I appreciate that you looked at it.
Yeah. Now, I will say that I do not have the most long, luxurious hair, so I cannot take advantage of some of those styles.
Well,
Well, it's funny. My friends, um, they always say stuff to me like, "Oh, only you could get away with that. Oh, only you could do that," And I'm just like, I don't think that's true. I just think, it's how you wear it. So, if you wanted to wear a wig and you owned it, I think you could do it.
so
I
when will you be
mean,
growing your hair out, Trey?
I thought you were going to ask me, when will you wear wigs? The question
That too.
is, uh, when will I grow my hair out? I've actually wanted to do that.
Hmm.
That is a whole other conversation. I think you were going to read out some of the comments.
I was, but go ahead.
Truth Found said, "I'll take a makeover anytime you are free." Haha. She continues to say, "I love the old Hollywood style and the classy, always dressed to impress and perfectly tailored woman. So elegant."
And also, Trey should grow out the beard so we can braid it, beat it, bedazzle it.
Oh, a bedazzled beard? Yes.
Hmm.
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 Emily, you were into costumes, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what your thing is?
Mm-hmm. It is.
I find that so fascinating. I told you I did that fashion show.
Yeah.
I did what I could. I'm not a seamstress by any means,
That's
but
still cool.
my grandmothers both sewed. I wish I had learned more from them. I wish
Right?
I was old enough to, I mean, I was old enough, but not, I was a teenager. So
Sure.
I was into other things and I totally regret not asking more questions and things like that. But I still have some of my grandmother's clothes.
Oh, wow.
I had
That's
a pair
awesome.
of her riding jodhpurs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I saw the movie Water for Elephants, and that's actually that's the first post I did on that blog. I was so inspired by the kind of 1920s circus theme that I got my best friend to get on a horse, and I did finger waves, and we took photos, and she's wearing my grandmother's jodhpurs in those.
I'm going to have to go look that up.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That was one of the things that really inspired me. So like I'm constantly inspired by movies and costumes,
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
The cinematic side of it is what
Yes,
appeals to me as well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
For Halloween, I don't know how long ago it was, I made my own Queen Elizabeth costume.
That's huge.
I sewed the entire thing. I used it for my graduation announcement
Holy cow. Yeah. Okay, so she's holding up this, I don't know what
It says
it's an
it's about damn
announcement.
time.
Okay, and it's a picture of you in an Elizabethan
Yes.
gown.
And I made
That's
that.
really amazing.
My mother coached me through it. But
Not easy.
no, oh my gosh. And I still pull it out whenever I can. So, I can
Heck
get
yeah. You
use out of
should.
it. But
Just wear it for lunch.
I know.
Yeah.
But I just absolutely love that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's a problem, but I'm just, between hair and makeup and costumes and, painting and drawing. And I mean, I did ceramics for a while. I'm a little bit of a jack of all trades, master of nothing.
Well, I mean, this isn't something we've brought up in a while, but we've had this idea now for 4 years that we were going to rent a castle. Let me see if I remember everything. Oops. Rent a castle. And then we were going to invite all of the people that we've had on the show and all of the creatives that we want to have there, and then do like this massive weekend of photo shoots and things like collaboration with different types of photo shoots and things like that, and just have a lot of food and hang out and things like that. So you are officially invited
Well, that's
one day when we do it. The the one day when we do the big castle photo shoot. In fact, yeah, we haven't talked about it in a while, and so I haven't been on like, oh yeah, we should actually do it. Also, Josh in the chat said, you want to rock a mohawk, you've got to have a particular attitude to rock a mohawk. I think that was in relation to owning it.
Yes, I think that was
So, for sure. The also, maybe this is relatable to you because you did a fashion show, but there is nothing like having things you did, like whether it's hair or makeup or clothing or costumes or whatever, walking a runway in front of people and hearing and seeing their reactions. Like that, especially when you have like wow factors and moments that are unique and different in the show. I don't know about you. Is that something you experienced where you were like,
Oh, I
this
loved
is
it.
so cool?
It was so chaotic and exhausting though. I
Hmm.
cried for like an hour after it was over, and I was sad that it was so short. It's like planning for a wedding. It's just like you put all of this effort into it and then it happens, and then like there's this huge high and then there's this huge low. You're
It's
just
like
like,
over.
it's
Hmm.
over now. But it was really awesome and totally fun. I'm glad I did it.
You're right. It is over very quickly. There is so much work that goes into like the 7 minutes or whatever the show ends up being,
Yeah.
depending on how many pieces and how long the runway and all that is.
But I had
And
so many awesome friends who were in it. Like I just got my friends to do it and they were so down to just wear whatever I told them to.
isn't that great?
It was it was a lot of fun.
So did you pick music for it too then?
I did.
What'd you pick?
Oh my gosh, it was James Brown. It doesn't really quite go with sudden. I actually was gonna pick a song from it was like a Nine Inch Nails song from like the movie Seven, because
Oh yeah.
Deadly Sins. But I was like, I need these girls to be able to strut to something.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah, I ended
Makes
up
it easier.
going with James Brown.
That's fun though.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was fun.
I could see that. Yeah, having that beat really does help,
Yeah.
especially if it's friends that don't normally walk to a runway.
Well, one of my friends actually had like a not broke. I don't know if it was broken, but really twisted ankle, and it did it like the day before. Bless her heart. I was like, "You're putting on those
Oh
heels.
no.
You're putting them on." She did it.
You can do it.
She did it. She rocked it.
Yeah. That was, I mean, I would too. That's an opportunity I wouldn't want to miss.
Yeah.
We have no understudies here.
No, no, and I couldn't even fit into the outfit even if I wanted to get out there.
I get it.
From a design perspective, I'm curious, where does your personal style land you? Like if a client came to you and said, you have free reign, I just want you to create a website for me about, I don't know, I sell coffee. Where does your creativity take you, and what are some of the things that you find yourselves incorporating the most often?
Well, you're going to go into my marketing brain right now, because my first thing is, who's your target audience? What is your aesthetics that you love? Are there other websites that you like, and why? What are your colors? Do you have colors? Do you need a style guide? If you do, like, what are these colors trying to invoke? Let's talk about fonts. Are you trying to be whimsical? Are you trying to be serious? Are you trying to be, I just asked them 20 million questions to try to get at who they are, what kind of story they want to tell. And then obviously I asked them about their content, because I always say content is king. You don't just design without content and make it fit. You have to take the content and then, make it, because it also needs to be functional, especially in web today. It has to be mobile friendly. And I don't think I mentioned this. One of our bread and butters for Red Rooster Design is higher education. We build a lot of the websites for colleges.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Very
so,
nice.
LSU, University of Arkansas, parts of it, University of Arkansas, Fort Smith. Those are just a few, but those all have to be like ADA compliant as well. So there's like this technical aspect of making sure that, that's Americans with Disabilities Act, so that screen readers can read them and all of this stuff. So there's this whole level of technical that you have to do in addition to trying to make it look beautiful and function properly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot of extra too. Like you can't just post an image. It has to have like a
alt text.
This is what, yes.
Yeah. That didn't really answer the question about design aesthetics.
No, but it tells me that you are a very consultative person. If someone gave you free reign, you're still trying to get the other person involved.
Oh, absolutely.
So maybe I'll ask this in a different way. If you're designing a website for yourself, and the marketing thing aside, what are some like aesthetic things that you find yourself drawn back to pretty consistently?
Well, it's funny. We did this, Brad did this logo, and he did a bunch of iterations that had like, pin tips and like flames coming out of them and things like that. And he said to me, I think I like the one that's just basically text. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I saw it and I was like, yes. I mean, it's simple, it's bold, it's not cluttered. And so like for this particular brand, we wanted to go with, just because the coloring books themselves, which we haven't really talked about that yet, the coloring books themselves, the insides are black and white. And so it's very bold. You fill it in with your color. And so, well, Brad's favorite color is red. He's a huge Ohio State fan. So do with that what you will.
That's like saying, go ahead and judge that.
But I mean, that's kind of that's not why we have Red Rooster Design, but his favorite color is red. And so we were just kind of doing colors that are kind of around that. We didn't want to do primary because we don't love the primary to be a little bit more elementary. So we went with the fire, and it's also the fire. The red, orange, yellow is kind of like the flame or the FUMEINK. So that's how we got this aesthetic of the bold and, the clean lines and things like that. That actually leans more towards his aesthetic. If you ask me, it depends on the website, but if I built a website of whatever for myself, it's going to look like My Little Ponies and Care Bears threw up all over it. That's where I land. Because, I mean, my favorite artists are people like, I don't know, Brant Peters, Kathy Olivius. I don't know if you've heard any of this. Gary Baseman.
Okay.
Ron English, Mark Ryden. I think they're what you call pop surrealists. They used to call them lowbrow art, but I don't know if you call it that anymore. Pop surrealism. Anyway, it is like creepy cute. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That's my aesthetic, my personal aesthetic.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, you could have like a skull, but it has to have like, a pink heart next to it.
Sure. Yeah. Creepy cute embodies it very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's definitely my aesthetic.
And I'm glad that you brought up the coloring books, because I kind of want to transition to that, because yours, if I understand correctly, they are coloring books with a little bit of snark. Can you tell us more about
a little bit?
Yeah. So we are very sarcastic, and the snark comes inside the books and outside the books. Some of them are just fun to color. Like I have a couple of them. So here, the cute, creepy, and cute little monsters. These are just little creatures that we created. Here's one that I've colored.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the cute, creepy. That's not so much snarky.
Kind of.
We have one that we recently created called the Adult Dictionary, which is for, I would say, my niece would say it's totally cringe. And that's the point, is for people to know what the word cringe is, because it is a coloring book that has a sentence at the bottom that says the definition, the word, and then uses it in a sentence. And then it has a picture that goes along with it. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
all the words that the kids are, not the kids, well, yeah, the kids are using now. It's the stuff I hear from my nieces. We're always going, what does that mean? I don't even, I wish I had it next to me. I don't have an example of, I can't think of the, some of the words. Well, this isn't a new one, but like bougie or, fit. That's one of my nieces.
Oh yeah, like your fit.
Yeah. That's like your outfit.
I think this is a good educational tool for modern adults as a whole then.
It is. And that's why, so we created a new collection of books that we thought would fit. It's called Geez, I'm Old. And it includes the adult dictionary. It includes dad jokes. It includes menopause sucks. Yeah, just the stuff like that for people who are of a certain age. There's one called Old People, SHIT. And it's just, I mean, there's pictures and they have little sayings at the bottom. And one of them is a lady dancing in a store. And it says, when your jam comes on at the grocery store. Because we can all relate to that.
Yep, we can. Sweet potato casserole.
Yeah. I mean, you finally reach the age and you're at the grocery store just shopping and you're like, yeah, I like that. Yeah, this is like a song I grew up with. I'm like, you know, you're officially older.
Right.
I'm not going to say old, but.
They're like, hello, this is Burl Ives. Yeah, totally. I get that.
That's just a couple examples of the snark. We have an 18 and up collection. That is puts the adult in adult dictionary. We have one, I won't show you the inside, but it's Xmas sweaters. It's sweaters that say funny and terrible things.
You have some animal themed ones too. One that caught my eye was the fancy frogs.
Oh yes.
And my sister is a huge fan of frogs, so that one caught my eye. And I sent her the link to that so she could see it. And then of course teddy bears and things. So there's quite a range.
Yeah, we wanted to make it so like it's an adult. When we say adult, it's not like all 18 and up, but it's meant for adults to be creative. But we also wanted to have some kid-friendly options too. So if you wanted to buy one for your kid and color with your kid, you could do that as well.
So the whole family can have a coloring book from FUMEINK, and
we tried to make it clear on the website what's for kids and what's not for kids. So like an example is, you might think the mermaids book on the website, that is not for kids. It is a mermaids, sometimes without seashells.
I see. Yes. The pirates one is kind of cool too, though.
Yeah.
I just noticed that one.
So, I mean, we get such a kick out of not just the books themselves, but the ideas of the books. I mean, that's part of the joy of creating this, is we get to sit around with each other and we get to think of ideas for, you know, the next book that we think. We try to outdo each other. We try to make each other laugh. Yeah. So we even have on our website, if you think you're a genius, share your ideas with us, because we love to hear other people's ideas for what they think would be funny.
Yeah, this is I mean, there are things on here I wouldn't even think about making a coloring book out of. And it's kind of genius in that way. Like there's a whole coloring book of phobias. Who would have thought of that ever?
Well,
that's amazing.
That one is my husband's love letter to his phobias.
Love letter.
He could barely put it together.
Oh, I bet.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Especially the snakes.
Trey, what's a phobia you have?
Strangely enough, porcelain dolls.
We have we have a deranged dolls coloring book.
Nope. No, thank you.
I'm getting that for you for Christmas.
I will quit this podcast.
Do you think they're going to come to life in the middle of the night?
We're not going to get into my therapy sessions. Moving on.
Let's look for a second. Oh, I wish I could point across into your room. Let's look for a second at these shelves over here.
Mm-hmm.
full of almost porcelain dolls.
Excuse me? Excuse me? How dare you? What has happened on this podcast? What am I hearing here on this day?
It's derailed. We should get back to our guest. You have one about tattoos.
Yes. My husband is also covered in tattoos, so that's another one of his.
Okay.
Yeah.
I-
Oh, and someone says clowns in the comments. We have one called Killer Clowns as well.
Oh, yes. I did see that one.
Which,
That's-
it's funny. The killer clowns are scary, but they're great to color because they can be any
sure.
color. Like you can make their hair any color and their nose any color, and they're very colorful. So something. Oh, one of my particular favorite ones we made recently is called Extraordinary Stained Glass, and it is stained glass pictures of things that are ordinary.
Oh, sure.
I colored
did
one
see that.
recently, and it was a toilet.
Yeah. Things you would not have in stained glass. I actually meant to take a closer look at that later. I wanted to look at that one later because I thought someone out there is going to take this and use it to make actual stained glass.
I think that would be amazing.
Yes. Yes.
I follow somebody on Instagram. I can't remember the name, but they have a funny pun stained glass name, and I was just like, that person needs to do it.
Yes. Yeah. There's a few people out there that do like pop culture kind of stained glass.
Yes.
In addition to like their normal production run stuff that they do. And one of the girls out there, and I don't remember her name, I wish I did this massive panel of Frog and Toad.
Oh, nice.
And she decided to auction it off, and it went for like $1,500, even more than that, maybe, I don't know. But it started like at $100, and just everybody wanted this panel. I wanted the panel, so I could see how some of these would go very well, like as stained glass panels too.
Well, and we're always looking for new ideas. We're always coming up with new ideas. I think that we won't run out, but sometimes it gets harder. That's why we're
Sure.
like, we put on our website, we want other people, because I'd actually be interested to see what other people think.
Mm-hmm.
Our brains.
You have one that's the book about nothing. What is that?
Oh, that's a tribute to Seinfeld.
Okay.
So we
That
have to be
makes
careful
sense.
about copyright. So we don't use anything that can be like,
Sure.
specifically copyrightable. So it's pictures of things like babkas and there's a chest of drawers in there from, the one with the soup episode. And there's there's a puffy shirt in there, like things like that, because that's one of our favorite shows.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when you're doing this sort of thing, how are you fueling your creativity? Like what inspires you that you can use that as fuel then to go be creative?
I actually think pop culture fuels us mostly. I mean,
Okay.
movies and music and art and, just other things that we find entertaining. One of my husband's favorite people is Larry David.
Okay, sure.
Because he's just so, between Seinfeld and then Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Mm-hmm.
talk about embodiment of what FUMEINK, like the snark, the jokes, the dry humor, the in your face, all
I
of
can
it.
see that.
Yes.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
For our anniversary one year, I actually I think the gift was porcelain. I got him a little porcelain plate with Larry David's face on it, hanging in our living room.
I just love that exists.
Yes. Etsy,
of course. Yes. It's like there's a cross-stitch book out there. It reminded me, totally off topic, but maybe this is an idea for a coloring book. There's a cross-stitch book out there of Benedict Cumberbatch cross-stitch designs.
Oh, wow. I like the cross stitch though, because you can color the squares.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah. We could probably give you all kinds of ideas.
I know. That's the beauty of it, is there's
Yeah.
no limit to your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now sitting here trying to think of like other designs or other themes.
The dumbest coloring book ever.
Oh, that's full of stuff that's just black and white.
That's, you know what? I wondered that because I was looking at like this preview of the salt and pepper shaker, and like the black and white checkered flag and the black and white cow.
Yeah. I mean, the truth is, you're like, why would anyone buy that? Well, you can still color it. You can still make it whatever
Sure.
colors you want, but it's about the joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my favorites is the dad jokes coloring book. Like, okay, so your dad might not actually color the book, but now
Mm-hmm.
he has a book full of dad jokes, and they're actually really funny. So it's almost like a greeting card in addition, a giant greeting card in addition to a coloring book. Like, it could be a gag gift. It could be, we have some, again, the more risque stuff. It could be
Mm-hmm.
great for bachelorette parties. We have one called Yeehaw. It's just full of sexy cowboys. We have one full of sexy firemen.
This is probably like you could probably find a gift for literally anybody on this website.
We have one of hairdos. That one was for me.
Hairdos, of
Yeah,
course.
it's called Coloring Quaff.
Yes. I see that. And I imagine like the some of the Swifties out there might like the Showgirls one.
That was
Currently.
inspired by Taylor Swift.
Was it? Okay.
Yes.
I wondered. I felt like this was timely.
It was. It really was.
How long does it take you from like beginning to end? I mean, it feels like a question everybody would ask you because everybody asks me that sort of thing. How long did it take you to make this costume? And you're like, I don't log my hours, but I don't know.
It takes quite a while. I mean, from thinking of the concept to actually getting the images and putting it cool. And the great thing I love about this is it combines all of our skill sets that we have learned over the past 25 years.
Okay.
We use Photoshop and InDesign and Illustrator. And then once it's done, we put it on the website. So it's got the web part of it as well. And then like, there's this whole other aspect that we've had to learn from the business side about like sales tax and shipping,
the fun stuff,
all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much I didn't even know I didn't know until we got into this. So I can't say exactly how long it takes because it's funny. Brad has his process and then he hands it over to me and then I take it from there and I'm more of the promoter and he's more of the builder. And
sure.
That's again, another great way we, make a good team. We just kind of have our own things that we do and we work really well together.
Right. Yeah. No, that's great. I was just thinking like if someone like Taylor Swift comes out with a new album and then how quickly can you respond with a coloring book that's
gosh,
that?
That's tough. And at times we feel a little bit behind. Well, you have to try. And that's the other thing about pop culture. You're trying to have to keep up with what's going on to see if there's anything that you want to do that is timely.
Sure. That makes sense.
Because it takes time to do it.
One of our comments. Sorry, it just popped up. There are two from the same person. Is Will It Juice a bad idea for a coloring book? And what about Trey as a coloring book?
I mean, I say anything's possible, but my mind is really intrigued by this Will It Juice.
Same.
Will It Juice. Yeah, I think there's like a series of videos out there that I don't know if it's just one person or not that like puts random things in a juicer.
We have a book called Lick, Suck, Blow. And we say, it's not what you think. Get your mind out of the gutter. And it's literally just stuff you lick, suck, and blow. It's like a blow dryer and a dandelion, which dandelions are a little hard to color.
And bubble gum, yeah.
Bubble gum and a dog's tongue and a dog and, a stamp. So, I mean, that's our kind of cheeky way of saying it's not what you think.
Right. You're the one that took it there, not us.
Yes.
Like you run all the way up to the line and then you just throw everyone over it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with it.
Well, you must get some really fun feedback from people too.
The ironic thing is the biggest thing that we've kind of taken from this is getting people to actually color. A lot of people say, oh, that's great, but I don't think I would color. And with our friends, we've had them come over and sit down and color with us. And I think this as a teacher, once people have a little guidance and they're just afraid that they're going to do it wrong or that they don't know how to start. And once they start, they find so much joy in it. And they realize, and we always say, like, there's no wrong way to color. Like, that's why we say color outside the lines. I mean, it literally drives us nuts personally to color outside the lines. You can do it if you want to, because it's your coloring book.
Yeah.
I just think it's so funny because we kind of, as adults, we lose this thing that children have where they're not afraid to try. They're not afraid of choosing the wrong color. We think colors like a sky has to be blue and the grass has to be green when really you can do anything you want with it. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do too with in making adult coloring books as opposed to just coloring books for kids is to say, like, here's an opportunity to have some fun. Here's an opportunity to make coloring and art more accessible. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. And we like the fancy frogs, they come with fancy frames around each one. So you've already got your masterpiece. You just need to fill in the lines, fill it in with whatever you want. But as far as the feedback, that's the thing we find the most frustrating is getting people to actually color and want to color.
Yep. It's funny you brought up everything that's like the beginning of a keynote speech that I have that I do about how it's creativity equals longevity and how we lose that as kids, that freedom to go color on a wall with a crayon. Like you've got kids that will color on literally anything, tables and things you don't want them to, and they have the freedom, they feel the freedom to do that. And then along the way, we're taught to like stay in lines and behave and do it this way to where now we are adults and we don't feel that freedom. And I love that this gives people maybe a place to start. I feel like that's like this obstacle that I find people need to overcome as well. It's I'm going to do it wrong instead of dive in, because that little 3-year-old inside of you is still there. You can just let go and go color whatever. Like you said, you can color the black and white one any color. A clown's face doesn't have to be white. It can be blue or purple or whatever.
Well, and that's the thing. My husband's always surprised. My mother taught me a method. She's a pastel artist.
Okay.
Start with the blues, and then you add browns over it, and then you kind of fill in because your shadows are cool. And I do that same technique with crayons, and I can't really do it with markers unless, because they don't really see through, but like crayons and colored pencils. And you end up with it's like the same concept, but it's, a coloring book. But I think we have been the most surprised with each other and how much, because we color all the time we post our stuff to social media so we can show people what exactly you can do and how much joy we've created our own joy in getting to sit around now and color our own books that we've created. And we get a lot of pleasure out of that and, showing each other's work. One thing we haven't done that we want to do is cut one in half and color each side and put it together.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Well, and the funny thing is, my husband does charcoals. And so he's really black and white. And that's another thing that the inside, building the inside pages really kind of goes with that aesthetic. When he colors, we make fun of him because he's always in these ranges of yellows and browns. And he's a very kind of like a light wash. And I am so saturated. I want everything to be gradients and just no white showing anywhere. I want it to just be the most bright colors ever. And we're so opposite. And I think it would be funny if we cut one in half and put them together.
I think that'd be great. I think that'd be great for any two artists to like do half and half, and that would be fun. Do you have a favorite color?
Blue.
Okay.
Yes. I wear pink a lot, but I love blue.
I was going to be kind of a jerk and ask, like, what's the hex code for the color blue you love?
I don't know that. Blue. I can tell you hex codes for grays. Just because I use them as backgrounds a lot, but that's a funny question.
Right.
When it comes to, I had a question and then I lost it. Wow. All right, moving right along.
Have you... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, we were talking about doing half and half on the picture. I was wondering if that might be a fun challenge to send out like a coloring book page to two different artists of the same page just to see how they both brought it back to you.
That would be. And you know what? The other thing I found really interesting in just trying to get eyes on this is that I've joined some coloring book groups on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I joined one that has over 200,000 people.
Wow.
There,
That's awesome.
there is a community of people who just color and then post them, and their work is amazing. Like, I'm always just like in awe of the stuff that people put out there that I didn't even know existed until I just tried to go looking for it. That's the other thing is putting together our, you have your Instagram account,
Mm-hmm.
you follow certain people.
Sure.
And so I started following other creators and artists. I have my own personal Instagram that's real like beauty and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like vintage hair and stuff. Well, the Fume feed that we follow now is, and I am just kind of amazed by how much awesome stuff is out there that I did not even know exists. And it's so inspiring to see all these different people, whether it's sculpture or, I mean, it runs the gamut. I kind of thought social media was a little bit turning into a cesspool. And then I found this feed and created this feed of these people. And a lot of it is stuff in my own town.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have like these bars and stuff around here that have like collaboration nights where people are doing ceramics and knitting and cross stitching. And I don't remember that ever happening before. So I don't know. There's something happening in kind of like the maker area that is exploding. And I think it's really awesome.
I think so too. And I've noticed even my own algorithm changing as I'm following different artists and different art forms. And it is a lot more refreshing than the, as you said, cesspool that existed before. I feel like it's easier for me to go down the rabbit hole than it used to be, which is also dangerous in its own way. But
before we did Fume, I actually took all social media off of my phone because it made me feel yucky.
Yeah.
And then I brought it back so that I could use it for our purposes. And I think it just depends on what you look at. And again, with the algorithms, the more yucky stuff you look at, the more yucky stuff you see.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I try to scroll past those as quickly as possible so that it doesn't think I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like it has redeemed itself a little bit in just having a new focus and not just doom scrolling.
Yeah. In fact, we were talking about how there's something happening in the world with things like crafts and things like that being more prevalent in modern society. And I noticed that too. We have a couple of instructors that at where I work where they've been asked to go do things like, for instance, a jewelry making session in a bar.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's make earrings together.
Yeah.
And there's someone else that I know that does little succulent gardens as like a buffet sort of style, and does that in bars as well. And I thought this is really, really unique and cool and so clean and nice and creative.
I think that shows there's people out there who are dying to be creative. They just don't know how to do it. And if you're given the opportunity and the space to do it, they want to do it.
And it's something different. They haven't done it, or it's not the usual.
Maybe it is with technology and the cell phones and television and streaming and all this stuff. I mean, maybe this is kind of a reaction to getting back to something a little bit more hands-on, analog. Can you even call it analog? It's still kind of digital, but you know what I mean. Back to paper.
I can get on board with this renaissance.
Yeah, me too.
I do have to say, sorry, there's a makerspace that is like its own shop. So people buy into these spaces, they sell the goods that they've made. In this one shop of like 30 miniature shops all throughout, they have a big forum that's in the back, and you don't really notice it. So when I was shopping there one time, walked past, doors were closed. Walked back past, doors were open. There was some sort of railing that they had put, and on the inside, 30 people on the inside doing nothing but quilting. They had brought their own machines from home, but they were sitting together helping each other quilt these massive, massive pieces together in a in a random shop of all places. So uh, you can literally do things anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I mentioned my sister is an art teacher, and we see my parents every Sunday. She comes over and she talks about her stuff that she is going to do for the next week. And she talks about she's done so much cool stuff, but listening to her, one of the recent things she did with her, I think they're middle school. Oh, she's going to kill me if they're junior high, but they're somewhere around there. Um, she was teaching them to sew. She was
Oh, that's
hesitant about
awesome.
whether she should give them needles, and we were just like, "Just do it." And she said she was so surprised at how much joy it brought the boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think of course, sewing isn't something a lot of people get to do now anyway, but
Hmm.
and the other thing was crocheting.
Yep.
So they're learning these things, and it's not just drawing and painting. She's teaching them these other things and finding that they're really interested. And she said they couldn't take the needles home with them, but you could go to the dollar store and buy a sewing kit for $1. And they were like, "That's the first thing I'm going to do when I leave school today is go buy a sewing kit." And I was just like, "That's amazing."
Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
Yeah. I think they just need access
Yep.
and someone to show them how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've seen these little kits now that you can buy that are like the little crochet kits that are little animals and things like that. And I love
It's
that.
called the wobbles or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I love that that's a thing that people are into now. And what a great way to learn to crochet with something you're inspired by.
Yeah, I mean, I have a huge pack of, I call them doilies, but they are intricate strawberry pattern crochet that my grandmother did. I keep them in Ziplocs so they don't turn yellow, but I don't know what to do with them, but obviously I'm keeping them forever.
Yeah.
Like such art that, you know, I mean, I guess people are doing it more now. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even, that's the kind, I don't know, is it crocheting where you take the needles and then you move them
I
over?
think that's
Is that,
it's kind of like a lace making technique.
yeah.
Bobbin weaving or bobbin lace.
Yeah.
There's a term and I'm not thinking of it, but maybe that covers it enough.
I'm honestly not even. I think that's how she did it. It could just be crocheting, but I know it's intricate and they're
Yeah.
very thin. So I actually thought about putting them together and making a wall hanging, but I'm afraid if I leave them out in the air, they will turn yellow.
Oh, they could be. Yeah, I don't know how to preserve that.
Yeah.
So do you get anybody asking you like, "Oh, I want to make my own coloring book," or "Oh, I want to get into graphic design," or
We
do
have
something
a
that you
lot of
do?
people who want to give into graphic design from the Red Rooster standpoint. We have a lot
Okay.
of people who want to intern and things like that. But the coloring books, we haven't really had anyone. But we're pretty new. That's the
Okay.
thing. We're kind of lacking in visibility, and so that's one of the reasons we're trying to get out there. Is
Yeah.
we're trying to find our people. You know, we know they're out there.
Mhm.
Trying to find them.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm hoping that when we find those people, they will ask us things like that, and they'll give us ideas, and they'll share. We want them to color and share their pages. So we come up with a name. It was kind of inspired by Taylor Swift. If you buy a book and you color a page and you post it on social media and tag us, you are officially a FUME.
Oh. Cute.
Ooh.
Part of the Fume
Cute.
family makes you a FUME.
Fume family.
Yep.
Hmm.
We say become a part of the Fume family. We are the fun kind of dysfunctional.
I like this.
It makes me honestly think about, because I don't do a lot of social things with my friends, and I have this nice new house that I've been in for a year, and I haven't done a housewarming party yet. So it makes me kind of want to do why don't we just get together in our pajamas and let's just color, and then let's post it.
That's great. I think these are great ideas for like bachelor parties too.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, it just gets people, well, you can sit around and see a bunch of people sitting on their phones, being disconnected while they're in the same room. Or you could have a whole bunch of people come together and be creative and laugh. And, we have one that's 18 and up. It's called Sexy Stuff.
Mhm.
It's very risque, but it's also hilarious. That would be a good bachelorette party book.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say there's something for everyone on this website. Definitely. So you can go visit FUMEINK.com, FUMEINK.com, and that's where you can find all of these. But you also have Red Rooster Designs if anybody wants to visit that as well. So if you need a website built or
We do websites and logos and print materials and
fun.
graphic design.
And you're also on Instagram and Facebook with FUMEINK
Yep.
under FUMEINK as
Correct.
expected. So go follow and support and grab a coloring book. And Christmas is coming, and these make amazing gifts. They're not crazy expensive. It's a great gift, and
I
there's
will
so many.
say on our website, it says under the Christmas section, ho, ho, hold up. We are not Amazon Prime, which means it takes about 2 weeks to get your book. So if you want one, you should order it now.
Yes, definitely order now. And you're supporting a small business, which is awesome too. That is, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, I wanted to say one other thing.
Mhm.
Our In the Doghouse book, 100% of any money that we make from that goes to our local animal shelter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's
Yes.
so
Because
cool.
we
can
love
get behind
animals.
that.
Oh, that's so amazing.
We can too. Yeah.
Well, Allie, I do have to say before we wrap up, this hour with you has gone by so fast.
It has.
You are such a bundle of just so much energy and so much love for the things that you do, not just art, but people and the things that you're very passionate about. That said, I have one last question for you, and it has nothing to do with anything that we've talked about so far. And it is, you're sitting down to have lunch, and you can have lunch with anyone in the world, alive or dead. Who's sitting on the opposite side of that table from you?
Oh, goodness gracious. You know, my first thought is, and I hate to say this because I can't just pick one of my grandparents,
Oh,
just because, you know, I miss them.
yeah.
I can't pick one though because I love them all, so that would just be bad.
You can have more than one?
The collective
My
grandparents.
collective grandparents. My sister and I were just talking yesterday because, you know, it's the holidays,
Mhm.
how much we miss them. And she was watching Peggy Sue got married, and she
Oh,
was
yeah.
saying, I didn't realize this was a tearjerker until I was in my 40s, and my grandparents are gone. And I laughed and I said,
Aw.
it's always been a tearjerker. But that doesn't answer your question. What's someone famous? Probably an artist. I have so many artists. Someone whose brain I would want to pick.
Mhm.
Actually, you know what? This person is no longer alive, but it would probably be like Kevin Aquan, who's a
Okay.
famous makeup artist
Ooh.
who I bought his book called Making Faces when I was a kid. And that was before YouTube and before contour was a thing. And he was doing it before then. And he was one of the people who inspired me to do all of the stuff with, like, I would draw eyeballs on paper and then use makeup to put the makeup on the eyeballs. And so I'd say that probably him. I would have so many questions to ask. He's the one responsible for the 90s supermodels.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, that look.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a really good answer.
I someone's brain I would want to pick. I had a million questions to be like, how did you do this? And why were you inspired by this? And basically what you guys just did to me.
You're welcome. Well, seriously, Allie, thank you so much for spending time with us today and just bringing so much joy and also so
Yeah.
much joy to other people with these coloring books.
Well, I hope that's what we bring. And I really appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you for being here. It's been a lot of fun.
As we close this episode out, thank you so much for everyone for tuning in today. You can find additional episodes on our website at themodrom.com and support us on Patreon. Search for The Mod Rom on Patreon. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.